Let's not play no games. I need full-on participation. I need you to get down in the comments and work with me. Who should not make this Team USA team? I'm gonna give you my roster that I would keep. Let me know if you agree or not.
No holding back here. Straight talk on who shouldn't make Team USA. What makes this moment wild is the confidence behind that take. Because what we're about to unpack isn't just a hot opinion. It's shaking the very foundation of how USA basketball picks its stars. For years, fans accepted the idea that experience beats everything, but now that belief is getting ripped apart in real time. This potential starting lineup signals a full-on philosophical shift. Picture this. Caitlin Clark running point like she owns the court. Jackie Young sliding into the 2 spot with deadly precision. Kalia Copper bringing speed and fire at the 3. Derica Hamby controlling the paint at the 4. And Aaliyah Boston holding down the center spot with raw power and calm dominance. What's missing? That old school USA formula built around veterans clinging to Olympic resumes. This lineup screams right now. It's about current form, real chemistry, and the future of the program. Not just keeping the same names for comfort's sake. And here's where things get intense. USA basketball has always worshipped continuity, picking players who've gone through multiple Olympic cycles, memorized the system, and earned stripes through years of international runs. That's why Chelsea Gray made the Paris 2024 roster even while recovering from injury, all while Caitlin Clark, who just had one of the most dominant rookie seasons in WNBA history, was left watching from home. The outrage was instant. Fans exploded online, pointing out that Clark led the league in assists and three-point shooting, while Gray was still rehabbing.
Should be the starting point guard for Team USA. Duh, the best thing that ever did it. Caitlin Clark starting at point guard. Jackie Young should be starting at shooting guard. That is what I believe it should be. That should be the starting backcourt right there. We move on to the wing position. I got Kalia Copper starting.
People were fuming, saying, how does that make sense? Now the discussion's heating up again. And it's not fan fiction anymore. The projected backcourt of Caitlin Clark, Jackie Young, Paige Buchers, and Kelsey Plum looks stacked. That's 4 guards who can run, shoot, and score from anywhere. And when you dig into the stats, the case gets even stronger. Clark put up 19.2 points and 8.4 assists per game as a rookie, leading Indiana to its first playoff appearance since 2016. Jackie Young just came off a championship with the Aces and earned all WNBA honors, while Kelsey Plum remains a certified Olympic gold medalist from the Paris Games. This isn't a gamble. It's a statement. The future has arrived, and USA basketball can't hide from it anymore. Paige Buchers, the comeback story that refuses to fade. Despite spending most of her UConn career battling brutal injuries, she stormed back to remind everyone that she's still one of the most gifted scorers in women's basketball. But here's where the drama hits hard. That guard rotation we just talked about, it completely leaves out Chelsea Gray. That's right, no Gray at all. We're talking about the same Chelsea Gray who was Finals MVP with the Aces in 2022, a longtime Team USA veteran, and one of the coldest clutch performers the game has ever seen. So how do you justify leaving her off? Well, the argument, and it's not an easy one, is age and health. Gray turns 32 in October 2024, and she's been dealing with nagging foot and leg injuries all season long. She played just 26 games during the 2024 WNBA season, putting up 10.3 points and 4.4 assists per game. Respectable? Absolutely. But elite? Not anymore, at least not compared to the rising generation that's hungry and healthy. And now things get really spicy. Off the bench, the Wings bring even more shakeups. The first rumored list mentioned Satu Sabali, Ryan Howard, and Rickea Jackson. But hold up, that's not what ended up being confirmed. The actual choices? Sonia Citron from the Washington Mystics, Rickea Jackson, and Cameron Brink sliding in as the versatile 4 or 5 spot monster. Behind them, Kiki Harrigan steps in as the backup big. And the final golden ticket goes to none other than Angel Reese. But here's the shocker that has the whole internet on fire. Cameron Brink over Brittany Griner. Yes, you heard that right. Griner, the 6'9", 2-time Olympic gold medalist, one of the most intimidating defenders in the history of the sport, left off the roster. She still averaged 17.8 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks in 2024. That's production most players dream about. Yet Team USA seems ready to move forward. At just 22 years old, Cameron Brink represents the future. The second overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, fresh out of Stanford, a national champion, and a walking highlight reel. She brings that new age versatility, stretching the floor, blocking shots, handling the ball, the complete modern package. It's the kind of bold decision that signals USA basketball might finally be done clinging to the past and ready to bet everything on the next generation. Cameron Brink isn't just tall, and she's dangerous. She can protect the rim like a wall, switch onto smaller guards without breaking a sweat, and stretch the floor with that smooth shooting stroke. But there's a twist. She tore her ACL in June 2024, ending her rookie season way too soon. That injury means this projected Team USA lineup isn't just about Paris right now. It's clearly looking ahead to future international tournaments where Brink will be fully healthy and ready to dominate. Then comes Angel Reese, locking in that final roster spot, and honestly, the reasoning makes perfect sense, even if it stings for some fans. Reese averaged 13.6 points and 13.1 rebounds per game as a rookie for the Chicago Sky, breaking the WNBA record for consecutive double-doubles with 15 straight. That's insane consistency. She's an absolute rebounding machine and a defensive force who brings raw hustle and toughness every single night. But here's the thing.
I have Kelsey Plum coming off the bench. Obviously, Kelsey Plum should make this team. I think the backcourt is set between Caitlin Clark, Jackie Young, Paige Beckers, and Kelsey Plum. You got all you need at the guard spot. You really you really don't need no more guards after that, for real. You need wings and bigs. You don't really need no more guards.
She's not supposed to be your number one scorer. She's the grinder who does the hard stuff no one else wants to do. The Sky struggled in 2024, finishing 13th at 9-27, missing the playoffs completely. And when Reese tried to do too much, taking more shots, forcing plays, trying to be the star, the numbers dipped. Her field goal percentage dropped to 39.1%, and her usage rate was way higher than it needed to be. But on Team USA, surrounded by elite scorers and playmakers, she won't have to carry that load. All she'll need to do is crash the boards, play physical defense, and bring that nonstop energy. That's her sweet spot. And it's exactly what this team will need to win at the next level. Now, here's where the conversation turns explosive. Who didn't make it and why? Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner, and Veronica Burton were all left off this projected roster. And the reason is brutally simple: generational change. USA basketball seems ready to move on from the old guard and start building around the next wave of young stars. But that's a radical shift in philosophy. Traditionally, Team USA has valued experience above all else. Players who know international basketball inside and out. Because international rules, officiating, and pace are completely different. Even the three-point line is shorter under FIBA competition. This new approach challenges everything. It's bold, it's risky, and it's about time someone shook the system up. International basketball is a whole different beast. The lane's wider, the refs let more contact slide, and the physicality hits a level that shocks even seasoned pros. That's exactly why veterans have always thrived there. They know how to adapt when the whistles stop and the game turns rough. Look at Sue Bird. She repped Team USA until age 41, winning her 5th Olympic gold medal in Tokyo at 40. Absolute legend. And then there's Diana Taurasi, still grinding at 42, becoming the oldest player in Olympic basketball history during the Paris Games. That's insane longevity and proof of why USA basketball has always trusted its vets. They deliver when the lights are brightest. But here's where the new debate is catching fire. That dominance gap, it's shrinking fast. The rest of the world is catching up, and Team USA felt it in Paris. Sure, they walked away with gold, but those games weren't easy wins anymore. Australia kept it close, France even led at times, and suddenly those 30-point blowouts feel like ancient history. That's why some experts are saying it's time to shift focus. Go younger, faster, and sharper. Prioritize athleticism, shooting, and current form over old resumes and nostalgia. The league has evolved, and maybe it's finally time for Team USA to evolve too. So let's run it back. The new look 12. Caitlin Clark, Jackie Young, Kalia Copper, Derica Hamby, Aaliyah Boston, Paige Buchers, Kelsey Plum, Sonia Citron, Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, Ricky Jackson, and Kiki Harrigan. Just saying those names feels like the future already arrived. The average age? Mid-20s. Way younger than what Team USA usually rolls with.
At the 4-5 off the bench, this might surprise some of y'all. Y'all gonna see where I'm going. I got Cameron Brink. I got Cameron Brink on my team. I don't know about y'all. I got Cameron Brink coming off the bench for this team. I have Ricky Jackson coming off the bench on the wing for this team. I also have Kiki Area Finn coming off the bench as a backup big on this team. We have one spot left. One spot left between Angel Reese,
The Paris 2024 squad had an average age over 30, filled with veterans from the Tokyo era, but this is a full reset, a bold statement that says, we're done looking back. We're building for 2028 in Los Angeles and beyond. And the structure of this roster? Wildly interesting. 4 true guards might seem like a crowd, but when you factor in the new style of play, faster pace, constant switches, and perimeter-heavy attacks, it actually makes perfect sense. This team isn't built to walk the ball up the court, it's built to run you out of the gym. The message is loud and clear. The old dynasty is over, and a new generation is ready to take over the global stage. International basketball is all about guards. That's where the battles are won and lost. In FIBA play, it's not about pounding the ball inside anymore, and it's about perimeter control. Three-point shooting runs the show now. So having 4 elite guards who can all shoot, pass, and break presses under pressure isn't just smart, it's essential. Caitlin Clark, Jackie Young, Paige Bueckers, and Kelsey Plum give Team USA the most dangerous backcourt rotation the world has ever seen. Now the front court, that's where things get experimental and a little risky. Hamby, Boston, Brink, Reese, and Harrigan, that's a tower squad. Tons of size, versatility, and athletic firepower, but not much of that old-school, back-to-the-basket post dominance we used to see from legends like Tina Charles or Sylvia Fowles. This lineup isn't built to bully people in the paint, it's built to outrun them. Expect fast breaks, quick passes, and a storm of threes flying every quarter. It's a modern, international-style approach that mirrors how basketball is evolving everywhere. Fast, fluid, and fearless. But this conversation isn't just about one roster, it's about the soul of USA basketball. What kind of team do they want to be moving forward? Will they keep honoring legacy and past glory? Or are they ready to make the hard calls based on who's hot right now? That's where the real tension sits.
A role player, which is what she should be. She's not a star go-to player. Rebound, and that's it. That's all. Rebound and play defense. That's all you got to do. That should be your role, but your team in the WNBA sucks so bad that you're trying to do more, and that's just not you. Angel Reese makes my final 12. So who didn't make my cut? It's a lot of y'all looking like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You got that right. Chelsea Gray didn't make my team. I'm over all these old people. Look, Chelsea Gray's done her thing. She shouldn't even been in the Olympics. Caitlin Clark, rookie year.
Take Chelsea Gray, for example, a finals MVP, a gold medalist, a proven winner. She's earned respect for years through elite-level play and icy composure under pressure. But in 2024, she wasn't top 5 anymore, maybe not even top 10. Injuries and time have caught up with her. That spark isn't as sharp as it once was. So do you pick her based on history and hope she rediscovers that magic for one last run? Or do you bet on the younger guards who are dominating the league right now and shaping the future? Tough call. And then there's Brittany Griner, still one of the best shot blockers on the planet, still productive, but 33 now, and her mobility just isn't what it used to be. The game's speeding up, and her style doesn't quite fit the new pace. Meanwhile, Cameron Brink, if healthy, might not yet have Griner's power or defensive command, but she's got something else, modern versatility. She can switch, stretch, and shoot. The potential upside there is massive. It's youth versus legacy, energy versus experience, and Team USA is standing right at that crossroads. So what's the real priority here? Proven championship pedigree or future potential? That's the million-dollar question shaking up USA basketball right now. For decades, the organization has always leaned on its veterans, players who've been there, done that. That's exactly why the Paris 2024 roster still included Diana Taurasi, who barely saw the floor, but was kept around for her leadership and experience. And that's also why names like Breanna Stewart and Alyssa Thomas were locked in automatically. Even with injury concerns swirling, continuity and trust have always been the foundation. Until now, because then came the Caitlin Clark decision, and everything changed. Leaving the most popular player in women's basketball off the Olympic roster sent shockwaves through the sports world. Fans were furious, social media exploded, and suddenly, everyone was questioning how USA basketball makes its choices. Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever games were averaging over 1 million viewers, with some hitting 2.3 million on major networks like ABC. Those are numbers the league hadn't seen in years. And yet the Olympics barely managed to outdraw regular WNBA games that featured Clark. That's wild, and the optics were brutal. It looked like the organization was punishing her for being a rookie. Like popularity, production, and momentum meant nothing compared to seniority. And that's where the backlash really hit, because Clark wasn't just a name. She was one of the 12 best players in the country. Fans knew it, analysts knew it, and deep down, even some inside USA basketball knew it too. That snub might go down as the turning point. The moment the old guard got publicly challenged, now USA Basketball faces a hard truth. If performance really matters, if current ability matters, and if star power and fan interest matter, and they do, then you can't keep defaulting to the same veterans forever. You've got to make the uncomfortable calls. You've got to look champions in the eye and say, your time's up. That's the price of staying elite. Because clinging to the past is safe, but safe doesn't win forever. The rest of the world is catching up fast, and Team USA can't afford to get complacent. The days of recycling the same core until they naturally fade out are over. If the goal is to stay dominant, it's time to start taking risks, cutting legends, elevating new stars, and making decisions that might hurt feelings but keep the gold coming. Easier doesn't mean better, and greatness demands change. This projected roster doesn't just pick players, it starts a revolution. It's a wake-up call that screams, Chelsea Gray's era might be over, and Brittany Griner isn't untouchable anymore.
Every guard I named, in my opinion, is better than Chelsea Gray. Caitlin Clark is better than Chelsea Gray. Paige Beckers is better than Chelsea Gray. Jackie Young is better than Chelsea Gray. Kelsey Plum is better than Chelsea Gray. We don't need Chelsea Gray on this team. No disrespect. You did your thing. You've had your fair share of Olympic runs. It's time for the new generation. Time for us to move on. Brittany Griner did not make this team. We got Angel Reese. We got we got Kiki. We got some bigs. We got some size. We good. And Veronica Burton didn't make this team. No, love Veronica Burton. Love her as a player, but this team is already stacked with guards. So Veronica Burton did not make the cut for my final roster. So I'm going to read.
It declares that youth and current performance now trump legacy and name recognition. That's a bold statement, and honestly, it's one that might ruffle feathers all the way up the USA basketball chain. But the question isn't whether it's polite, it's whether it's right. Because like it or not, the 2028 Olympics are coming to Los Angeles, and the pressure to win gold on home turf will be massive. When that torch gets lit in LA, the crowd won't care about sentimental picks. They'll want the best team possible. And that team might not be the one stacked with veterans out of respect. It might be the one built on speed, shooting, and versatility. The one with players at their absolute physical and mental peak. Not ones clinging to past glory. The truth is, this new lineup looks a lot like what USA Basketball should be building toward right now. Picture it. Caitlin Clark orchestrating the offense, commanding the floor like a maestro, with laser-sharp passing and deep-range confidence. Around her, shooters and athletes stretching defenses thin, forcing mismatches at every spot. Aaliyah Boston anchoring the paint, locking down rebounds and protecting the rim. Paige Buchers coming off the bench to bring instant offense and spark. And Angel Reese cleaning the glass with relentless energy, turning defense into second-chance buckets. That's not just a lineup, that's a blueprint for dominance in 2028. So maybe the real debate isn't whether this exact roster is perfect, it's whether USA Basketball is finally ready to embrace the philosophy behind it. Are they brave enough to prioritize performance over pedigree? Can they tell legends that it's time to pass the torch? Can they build around Caitlin Clark the same way they once built around Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi for over a decade? That's the test. Because if they're not ready, if they keep playing it safe, sticking with the same veterans out of loyalty, then trouble's coming. The rest of the world isn't waiting around. Australia's stacked with young stars. France is deep and dangerous. Spain and Canada keep producing talent. Belgium's shooters are elite. And China's size and discipline are a serious problem. The global game is catching up fast. And the only way for Team USA to stay on top is to evolve now. The window for dominance is closing, and 2028 might just be the year that proves whether the dynasty can survive or crumble under its own tradition. At the end of the day, the real mission is simple. Put the best possible roster on the floor, not just the most decorated one. That's what makes this entire debate so fascinating and fiery. It's not about disrespecting legends like Chelsea Gray or Brittany Griner. They've both earned their place in basketball history. It's about recognizing that sports never stand still. Generations evolve, styles change, and the players who were unstoppable 5 years ago might not be the ones best equipped to dominate today. This proposed roster, it's bold, fearless, and laser-focused on the present. It's young, hungry, and built around performance that's happening right now. It's packed with shooters, versatile defenders, and athletes who are taking over the WNBA as we speak. Sure, it would ruffle feathers and maybe even break a few hearts, but it could also give Team USA the best chance to bring home gold in Los Angeles 2028. And that's the heart of the discussion. Is it time for USA Basketball to finally pass the torch? Should the focus shift from experience and pedigree to athleticism, chemistry, and form? Is it time to trust the next generation and let stars like Caitlin Clark lead instead of waiting her turn? Should she already be running point, or does she still have something to prove behind the veterans? These are the real questions shaking up the future of women's basketball right now. But let's be real. This debate is just heating up, and the world is watching every move. The choices made in the next few years will define whether Team USA stays at the top or gets overtaken by the rest of the world. So what do you think? Should USA basketball move on from the veterans and build around the next generation, or do those championship pedigrees still carry more weight? If you were the one building the roster, who would you cut and who would you keep? Drop your takes down below, because this conversation is far from over. And if you're fired up about what's next for Team USA, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more in-depth breakdowns just like this. I'll see you on the next one. We're only getting started.